The consumption of human meat is legal. The government has opened up a breeding centre and a slaughterhouse. Human flesh is on the menu. Delicious. But we're going to get into that. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. But right now, question of the day.
You work a minimum wage job at a betting shop. One day, your boss pulls you to one side and tells you about the surefire inside tip that he has on who will win the Champions League final. A bet of a mere few £1,000s would net you millions. The trouble is, you don't have that sort of money, but your girlfriend, however, has $6,000 in cash that she's been saving for a month-long girls trip to Barbados. You wait for her to leave for work, take the money, you place the bet, and you end up winning the huge jackpot of £20 million. When confronted with your crime, you come clean to your partner and offer to replace the money plus pay for her trip for 3 months. She turns this down and demands half of the winnings and not a penny less. What do you do? Quick 10 mil. Just hand that out.
Leave that bitch. Bye.
Oh God!
You ain't getting your $6,000 back.
20 million changes you, man. 20 million. You're no longer the same man you were yesterday.
No, you can't give her that money. She'll definitely leave you.
Oh,
she don't need you no more. She's got 10 million in the bank. She's going Barbados.
Yeah. She's dead to live. She ain't coming back. So look, what would I do? Look, is there legal grounds for her to try to take you to court? I mean, with what money? But
no, she could definitely snake on you if you didn't.
She could snake on you if you.
But I don't think she would. I mean,
listen, I think people are mad or whatever. You slap them a quick 200k or whatever. Open a briefcase or whatever. Just be like, take this. Be quiet.
I don't know why he told her. He should have just put the money back and not tell her anything.
He should have reported to the police and be like, someone stole our £6,000. Do you know what I mean? I would have sat on that. You know? Yeah, no, you definitely can't. But listen, I'd rather be the guy you can't trust with the 20 million than the guy you can trust without the 20 million.
No, that's a good question.
Yeah,
one thing I will say is, pause this video right now. Go and read Tender is the Flesh by
Agustina Bazterrica. And when you've read it, you can join us for the discussion.
Or you can join us anyway, because we're going to tell you all about it. My name's Joseph.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah,
my name's Elijah.
And my name's Joseph, and welcome to the Aisha Library.
Yeah, it was going too smooth. It was going too smooth. I felt
look at your phone
and everything. Yeah.
Hooping.
Oh, yeah. So, you don't have the blurb, do you?
Nah.
So basically, this is a story by whoever he said it was. And it's about... it's just a story about a scenario where the normal meat that we eat, chicken, beef, for some reason there was some bird flu going around. It rendered all that meat poisonous. I mean,
it will
kill, all of them. It will kill you. So they had no choice but to start eating human flesh and human meat, breeding and rearing humans.
Do you know what's funny? You should say that. It's I put the question on Reddit. I don't know if you saw that question. I put on Reddit, but it got a lot of engagement. And I'm hoping we can even link it to the video, to be fair. But some guy said, Jesus effing Christ, you guys will go to any lengths to avoid veganism. I said, that's so funny, because that's exactly what we said on the vegan video.
So I don't know if this is a great example of human brutality, or if this is something that was done with a lack of emotion. But the government breed heads, as they called them. Humans, they called them heads. They breed heads essentially for consumption. I like the way the author has conveyed the desperation of the situation. There has been no attempt to lie and say that these heads are less than human or they're different in some way, which is usually the lie that's told en masse. So, I think that was a good way that he did it.
Yeah, no, it definitely was a good way.
And it's a good idea.
It was like people came to terms and they just said less. But they kind of did try in their way a little bit. Like they said, you would go to the butcher shops and it would be like, it wouldn't say hands, it would say front trotters or whatever. And they would try and like kind of just lie to yourself, lie to myself, and just like try and smother it as deeply down as possible.
But I would like to know how long you could actually survive on eating. Well, on cannibalism, because the idea of food is nutrition, right? And the idea of eating meat is because you want to gain the nutrition in the meat. Yeah. But if you're eating, you're eating what you are, you're actually just you're basically replacing...
Gaining stuff you already have.
You're gaining stuff you already have is what I'm trying to say. Because when you eat a cow, obviously they eat the grass and they take the nutrition and you're getting something different. Your body can can create certain vitamins and minerals, but the ones you can't is the ones we eat.
Yeah, you'd probably be underdeveloped in some way. If you did it for like years and years and years, you'd probably just be stunted in growth or underdeveloped.
You're better than that veganism and shit, bro.
That Beyond Meat or whatever, is Impossible Meat, whatever it is. It's our real meat. I don't care where it's coming from. In fact, you know what's funny?
Juicy breast.
Yes. Well, do you know what? There is a virus called Cora. I think it's called Cora.
Is that the brain one?
Yeah.
I knew about that.
Literally. And
but they touched on it in the book, scary. Actually.
They did, but it is just like step from the brain. That wasn't going to be in that part anyway. Wasn't we doing that anyway?
To the bucks.
That's not the kind of brain I want. Yeah, no, legit.
Scrotum.
Saying I'm a celeb. We open into an expositional chapter with a nameless protagonist who we understand to be a butcher of some kind. From what we understand about this world, it's set in a dystopian near future, where animal meat was infected with a virus fatal to humans and was subsequently purged. As a result, the survivors must live as vegans or consume special meat. Mm-hmm. And obviously, if there are no animals, then this special meat's only coming from one place. But
it comes with a side of special sauce.
Side of white sauce. The funny thing is, as macabre and horrifying as it sounds, human meat suddenly becoming looked at as food when other, more appropriate forms of protein are scarce is fairly procedural as far as humans are concerned. It's on the list of things that we know we're going to do. We just hope it doesn't get that far down the list. Everyone knows in the back of my mind, if the worst comes to worst and it's the only thing to eat, we're going to have to eat it. 100%. Everyone knows that at the back of their head. They just hope and pray when the sun rises tomorrow, there's going to be chicken and lamb and duck that we can eat. You might think this is all ancient history, but there have been reports of survival-driven cannibalism in North Korea as recently as 2013. In World War II, for example, Germany had the city of Leningrad under siege for 900 days. When they ran out of food, guess what they were eating? All this to say, when times are tough, my belly's going to be full. I know that much. Full! I'm going to be eating like a king in these times. But yeah, no, it's definitely on the list. It's just we hope never to reach that. It's like eating rats. That's on the list, but we just hope never to get that far down.
Eating rats is above eating humans, though, isn't it?
It should be, but I just don't know what the...
I don't think it should be.
The rat started plague. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's really not... Creatures. Come on. Like, you could genuinely duppy the whole population just by eating rat. What did that bat they said was eating in China, bat soup or whatever, that apparently started COVID. Do you see what I'm saying?
That's what they say.
Who knows?
Because people have been eating bats for
centuries, isn't it?
Hundreds of thousands of years.
But they haven't been eating diseased bats. I think that's what they'll say. But it doesn't matter anyways. But the point is, it's on the list.
There was something quite interesting in this. There was a few things quite interesting, but my point is, I don't know why smiling is seen as attractive. When you smile, you're just showing your skeleton.
I put that as well. I said, oh my gosh, it's blown my mind.
Yeah, I thought...
That's actually so true.
Got me there.
I said, is that why the Romans didn't smile? Like, why are you showing me your skeleton, bro? I literally said that is a genius point. That is a genius point. And she is definitely a psychopath. Only a psychopath would think to say something like that. Sociopath. Definitely. Sociopath minimum.
Yeah.
Only a sociopath. Somebody who is not right would think of to say something like that. Because if you're normal, smiling's the most normal thing in the world. Do you know what I mean? Only if you're a deviant. Would you think wrong a wrong one, literally a bad egg. The owner of the breeding house, El Gringo, is showing around a prospective buyer, a German. As they walk through the compound, El Gringo explains how they classify their stock. They have first-generation pures, humans who have been bred in captivity. From the males, they collect semen samples to artificially inseminate the females and breed new stock, like any other processing plant or any other slaughterhouse or whatnot. He explains how the males who are not wanted for breeding are typically castrated or given forced vasectomies, how all the stock have their vocal cords removed because meat doesn't talk. I guess the author is trying to get us to think in a more extra-dimensional way about the ethical justifiableness of the meat industry by constructing a world in which humans are spoken of like A5 Wagyu. The thing is, it's technically correct. Humans are technically meat, which goes back to your point from a few weeks ago. Food really is a concept that varies with location. So it's like, if you live in China, you might eat insects, you might eat cockroach, you might eat beetles, you might eat whatever. If you're over here, you might eat fried chicken from around the shop, and Chinese people look at you like, what is wrong with you? Yeah. Who knows? In Japan, you might drink snake's blood. I heard that's what they do. I don't know. Yeah, and the guy online, he literally said, "You're talking about all this, snakes and beetles and snake blood. This is just be vegan." He said, "What's wrong with you?" And I was just like, "Listen, it's not for me. It's not my calling." Yeah. Somebody called the wrong number. I want to get a C. Literally, I want to get a C. Long rosemary. I'm gonna fire out the Barbie. I want a gut. That's it. All of that. Beard. All of that. Literally, live a king.
In some cultures, once a person has died, their loved ones consume parts of their bodies, so that they quite literally become part of them. To Western minds, this might seem disturbing, but those who entertain these rituals. Burying your mother in the dirt or leaving her to be entirely consumed by maggots is equally disturbing. And I don't know why I've written that. I don't know what. Was this part of the book, or was this supposed to be an Eve?
I think no. I think
that was part of this.
No, yeah, this is definitely part of this, and I think because you was talking about, they definitely had bits in the.
No, book. That's why. Because I didn't. So basically, well, look, cannibalism has actually always been part of. Not human. I wouldn't say human nature, but let's just say humans have. There's always it's always been in
multiple places.
It's always been a thing, and we think of it as it's weird. Right?
We think of it as unholy.
We think of it unholy, unnatural. We think of it as disgusting and weird. But technically, burying your father in dirt for them to be consumed by maggots is weird too. But we don't think of it like that. We think that's
location,
normal.
Its location was raised to think that that's normal,
But definitely, there's been hundreds of thousands of people who've been eaten. Definitely. I mean, they find, they dig up, the archaeologists dig up skeletons of Neanderthals and even Homo sapiens, and they can tell that these people have been eaten. And they can tell that they were eaten in such a way, like it's not necessarily they've been eaten in a way where it's by the people that they loved. And they can tell that. Because they will see on the skull, there will be cuts, like different cuts on the bone. And there'll be 100 different cuts on the skull. Yeah. And it's not going to be
so they're sharing them out.
So it's not a case of like brutal, it's like delicate cutting. Yeah. So they've taken from that to mean that this person was loved or known or whatever, and they've then consumed them after they've died. Or
that's crazy. That's what they've the Aztecs also, I think it was the Aztecs, it might have been the Incans. I know it was definitely a South American tribe, a South American culture, used to eat their fallen soldiers on the battlefield because it's literally just like, you make us weaker, we make ourselves stronger. We're 2 times back. We're double damage. And they used to do that, and they would eat their captives as well. And it was like when Hernan Cortez and the Spanish went over there to conquer, the conquistadors or whatever, when they went there in the Spanish Inquisition, they pulled up and they was like, "You man are eating people?" They said, "We thought we was bad. We have slaves. You better eating people like you're slaves. You're eating them." And it's like, I don't know if you're ever prepared to see that kind of thing. And them Spanish, they looked at as like villains of history as well, and even they was like, we do have some standards. It's not just humans being grown for meat, as we come to find out, it's also humans being harvested for their skin to supplement the loss of leather also. So this is where I kind of, organs, in the book, literally, this is where I was like, so this isn't about survival with it. You guys want leather coats, like leather seats and things like this. This has gotten way out of hand from what it was supposed to be. There's no meat, so you have to eat humans. But now you're like breeding them so you can have nice things. You know what I mean? It's kind of gotten out of hand. But
well, no, because you're eating them anyway. So this is how we get lots of products that we just don't know about.
Byproducts.
So for example, milkshakes. For example, what else is there? Even protein shakes. All of this is a waste product. It's made from the waste. Too. They should make
too.
Well, this is the thing. You've got the skin. It's a byproduct. So, how companies think, how can we use this? To make money instead of just throwing it away. And it's just like with the milk and the whey. Whey is literally waste product of milk. And they think, instead of throwing this away, I'm going to repackage this and sell it at top dollar as a protein. It's junk. And it's junk. We just don't know. So that's just capitalism at its finest.
Yeah. I said it did make sense, because if people are willing to eat humans rather than go vegan, I'm sure they would have few qualms about wearing human skin. I must admit, I am fairly bored by this point in the story. Yes, it's gruesome. Yes, it's a bit ugh. But beyond that, I'm yawning. Maybe we've been spoiled. We read Stephen King, and now it's like ordinary writers are no longer good enough for my standards. But,
that's funny you say that, because I'm actually going to go on to a point, and I've just cut you off straight away.
No, I have.
So I don't think the writing. I think the writing was quite good, and I'll give you 2 examples. And when I say
there was bits where it was good.
Well, okay, I'm going to say creative. So look, he said his sister's words are like piled up dry leaves in the corner rotting. And I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. And there's another one. He said she kept talking using words that flowed like lava from a volcano that doesn't stop erupting. And that one, I think that was quite...
It's picturesque. I don't think it's anything. It didn't blow my mind.
Yeah,
but
okay,
it's picture. It paints the picture. It paints a picture, which is like what... the writing is supposed to do. It's supposed to paint a vivid word picture in your mind. So you can't really mark anything down for that.
But do you implement that in your stories?
I do my best. I do my best. And it's like...
And it's not good enough.
Well, look, your best is never good enough. No, I'm being deadly serious. Like, your best is never ever good enough. And if it is good enough, then that means you haven't grown at all as a writer since you last looked. So it's always good if you see flaws in your own writing, or if you can accept flaws in your own writing. But what I always say is, it'd be weird if I couldn't accept flaws in my own writing. I'm here slagging authors off every week,
You do,
and then somebody says, I'm like... But, yeah, no, honestly... it is... Look, the point of writing is to, like, paint a vivid word picture in your mind. It's supposed to be, like... You get the reader to build a cinema, to construct a movie in their mind, where they are the cast, they are all the actors, they are all the characters, and all the characters sound like you when you're reading, because that's the only voice you have. So books can be powerful, and you can do things in books that you can't do on TV, and you can do on TV things you can't do in books. But yeah, look, that particular one didn't blow my mind. I did think the reading was good. The writing, was good in places, and I thought the story was good in places as well.
One thing I found quite annoying is that the narration he had a Spanish accent sort of thing.
Yeah, because the woman's Argentine, and the book was originally written in Spanish. It had to be translated to English. You know what it was called originally?
What?
Cadaver Exquisito. Exquisite cadaver. Exquisite dead body.
Human flesh? Oh,
exquisite dead body. Cadaver is a dead body. And I said, that is a mad title. It's way better than Tender is the Flesh.
I think it's better than Tender.
Yeah, it's way better. They should just left the title. Cadaver Exquisito. Sounds way better. Sounds like a dish.
I wouldn't mind.
El Gringo sends our main character a gift. A female FGP, first generation pure. Worth a lot of money, the protagonist notes. A small fortune, in fact. For some reason, however, he doesn't want it. He ties her up in his backyard and leaves out some food for her. Elijah, I am telling you now. I'm saying it from now. If this story turns out to be some nonsense, where he ends up falling for this grunting, illiterate, vaguely human specimen that was gifted to him off the back of a truck, I'm going to lose it. I know this is going off on one a little bit, considering we don't even yet know if this is going to be a love story, but these romance fantasies do underrated damage to both men and women. I've used this exact example on previous episodes. For example, in the movie Bridget Jones, Mark Darcy ditches his super hot, super smart, super successful barrister wife. She's a barrister for drunk, fat, broke Bridget Jones who smells like cigarettes and brings absolutely nothing to the table. Like, he genuinely had an actual fist fight with Hugh Grant. He had a fist fight with Hugh Grant over drunk, fat, broke Bridget Jones when he had a 10-10 waiting for him at home. And people watch this and they think, oh my God, so successful people should throw away their whole lives for me too. And it's like, we're getting worse. With this story, it's like, the way it seemed like it was going when I was reading it, I was like, he's going to fall in love with this grunting...
Yeah, no, I
She's not even human. She's human, but it's like, barely.
Yeah, she's none of what it means to be human.
Literally, none of what it means to be human.
And this is the thing, I thought it was going to go in that direction as well. And I think that would be true to life, though. Don't you think so?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know, man.
We'll get into a little bit... Well, the thing is, alright. We're gonna come back to this.
Yeah, because there was a guy that got fired from the plant. Remember, because he literally had one of the slaves, and they literally said he raped her to death and then just threw her on the pile. Yeah, they said he raped her to death and then just threw her on a pile of bodies. However, and they had to fire him, and then they had to get reimbursed for the value of the obviously.
If you get caught enjoying the heads, as they call it, they kill you. You get put to death.
Oh yeah, he did. You get sent to the slaughterhouse. He got sent to the slaughterhouse. That's
so you can eat them, but you just can't fuck them.
Yeah, they're like, we have standards. Come on, bro. It's not what we're about here. We're about cannibalism. Yeah, not necrophilia. Come on.
No, it's not necrophilia.
What's next? Oh yeah, no, it's not. It's not. I mean, it could be, but it's not.
Now it's gone. Yeah, you got a sick mind. Not that I know what necrophilia means.
This is a book called Cadaver Exquisito. What do you mean I've got a sick mind?
You picked it.
Nah, listen. I want that stricken from the record. Yeah, just men aren't allowed to have any kind of standards whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. And maybe you're right. Maybe that is true to life. Maybe
because we have that.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I've got to ask you a question after this. Not this one though. Not this. Will calm down.
Yeah.
So I've had a problem with the idea of eating humans for profit because it just doesn't make sense for one reason. But the author cleverly bypassed this reason. Before I say what it is, this question is related, Joseph. Do you have any idea for the reason that we eat meat? Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying.
Man, all that build up for that, you know. Do you know why we eat meat?
Yeah.
Jim Kirk over here. What's going on? Try again.
Sorry. Do you have any idea why we eat the meats that we do in the West? So chicken, beef, and goat and lamb, whatever. Do you know why? Chicken is the most popular meat? Why not rabbit? Why not turkey? Why is chicken the number one meat?
Well, the funny thing is, I know roughly that chicken was actually for rich people. A certain amount of years ago. I'm not sure how many years ago it was. I know a certain amount it was for rich people because the eggs, yada yada.
No. Yes. Okay, you're right. But I'll tell you why you're right, and I'll tell you why you're wrong. So basically, chicken used to be for rich people purely for the fact that chickens were for eggs. That's what we had them for.
Yeah.
And then the chicken died, or they killed the chicken. There's only one.
Yeah, and it's not small enough, and the meat was too small, which is probably why they inject it up now.
Exactly.
Because you get chicken wings from Morley, they're massive, isn't it?
Exactly. So they don't inject them now. What they've actually done. This is we didn't eat chicken.
Well, they feed them stuff.
Well, if you let me explain. So what happens?
7, 8. Go on.
So what happens is they've bred chickens now. They've actually bred them to be bigger. So we eat a chicken called the broiler chicken, which is something that they've bred to be massive. So you can feed them and they can get to full size in 6 weeks. So the idea of eating meat is something that you don't have to feed for 2, 3, 4, or 18 years like a human.
Yeah, no,
you got to feed it for 18 years just to get a bit of meat. Chicken.
You'd have to charge how much for that?
We kill chickens at 6 weeks old.
Literally. And even in this book, they were even giving humans growth acceleration because they said we cannot
Well, this is
wait
the point.
for this.
This is why we bypassed this thing.
Yeah.
Because, chickens have a lifespan about 10 years and we kill them at 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And in the males, we kill them immediately.
Oh, yeah.
All the chickens, because they don't have any breasts. They don't have much meat. So that's why I had the problem with...
Who doing that then?
That was that was an earthquake.
Oh, Jesus.
But so he bypassed that cleverly. Otherwise, I would have had a big problem with
that. Was clever. I don't know if it was genius because I've seen it before. No, but he at
least thought of why it doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah, fair enough. He did cover up that plot hole because some people just blunder over plot holes. It's surprisingly easy to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, this story is getting a bit gory. I'm not even sure if it's gratuitous gore. Maybe there is no such thing as gratuity in a dystopian future world where humans are eaten as meat. Our protagonist, I think his name is Marcos, but I'm not sure. It feels deliberately unclear. Anyway, whatever his name is, he goes to visit a friend who works at a butcher shop. And just to give you guys an idea about the kind of gore I mean, I've written a passage from the book here. So the butcher, his friend, was called Spanel. It was Spanel, that's how I was reading it anyways. At first, Spanel copied the traditional cuts of beef, so the change wouldn't be as abrupt. A customer would walk in and it was like being in a butcher shop of times past. Over the years, the shop transformed gradually but persistently. First, it was the packaged hands that Spanel placed off to the side. The label read, special meat. But on another part of the package, Spanel clarified that it was upper extremity, strategically avoiding the word hand. Then she added packaged feet, which were displayed on a bed of lettuce with the label lower extremity. And later, on a platter of tongues, penises, noses, testicles, a sign that said Spanel's delicacies. I said, that is nasty! That is nasty. Even just the idea of just feet in a butcher shop on lettuce. I said, Jesus Christ, I might be a vegan after all,
I always think that people eat chicken foot and cow foot.
That's true. I mean, I don't. But
you eat oxtail though, innit?
I've had oxtail, but I don't know if that's the same thing.
That's eating oxtail.
No. I don't know if it's the same thing as eating human feet. So I'm talking about penises, tongues, noses. I mean, people eat tongue all the time, to be fair.
I think that's nasty.
That is a bit suspicious. But even remember Saeed was talking about cow tongue. They used to have cow tongue in his house. Cow tongue. All the bits of a cow you could eat. You chose a tongue. But Yeah, no, it got started to get super gory, and I was literally just like, okay, I can look. It wasn't scary.
I really don't think it was super gory.
Do you know why? Do you know why I think you don't think it was gory anyways? And I said this before.
It's
because
food.
They gave away, not only that, but they gave away the goose with the beginning of the story. They said this story is about cannibalism, humans eating humans. Everything after that, we know is humans eating humans now. So it's like the shock factor's gone. It's not like it was a mystery or like a secret. And then we infiltrate the factory, stealth mission. And then we found, it's human meat. That would have provided us with like a little bit of shock factor. But the fact that we knew it was cannibalism the whole way through, and they repeatedly kept trying to shock us with the same secret they already gave us, that's kind of what took the sting out of it for me a little bit. But it was still gory reading it. Talking about testicles on a plate. Yeah, like, they'll have some testicles. Meat, yeah? Food, yeah?
I don't know.
Ridiculous.
I don't know. This book had no plot.
Oh, none at all.
No plot.
Zero.
Nothing really happened.
0%.
It's driven by the idea of the concept and the feeling of the times that they're in. That's what it was. I think, I'll give you... It was a little bit gory when there was a bit where the main character, Marcus's sister, had a head, a human, in the fridge, and she was cutting pieces off it while it was still alive. They keep it alive and they cut pieces off it to eat, when they feel like it.
They want it fresh.
Right.
They literally want it fresh. Even when they said, what did they say? They said the flesh of the children is the most tender. I was like, Jesus Christ, it was illegal. Switch this off.
Well, you eat chicken that's 6 weeks old.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're soft. Because they're tender.
It's tender.
What do we eat? Mutton. What's mutton?
Yeah, baby
goat.
Lamb. A baby goat.
Baby goat.
Okay, whatever it is nice. I'm not scared in any...
turn.
Was it? Did you just say... Wasn't you just saying cutting a bit softer?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, look at this guy. You're going to get fired, I swear. I'm not scared in any way by this book, which is hugely disappointing, but another function of horror is to disgust. And this book is certainly doing that. Like, I haven't even really been to that many butchers because we even grew up pescatarian. So even when I walk through the meat aisle in the supermarket, it feels illegal, innit?
Feels like
but if I walked into the butchers now, it's like times 10. So I'm already looking at them sideways, even when it's like sheep liver and goat stomach or whatever. Yeah. So if it was human feet and like just human parts in there.
See, this is why I didn't feel gory. When you go into a butcher's, does it feel gory?
No, not anymore. That's why it used to.
Yeah, well, that's why I didn't find this book gory, because I really calibrated my mind to think of the human flesh as food.
And they kind of helping, because they even called it meat. They didn't even really say yes, but I would like to buy it in person.
But yeah, as I said, you notice we haven't spoken about anything that's really happened.
There's nothing happening.
And I've jumped to, all of a sudden, the head's name is Jasmine, and the head is 8 months pregnant. All of a sudden. So the main character goes on like he's a good person, and I think he is. If he is actually a good person, is it just a man's nature to take advantage of a vulnerable woman? Because all of a sudden, remember, he got given this head, this girl, who doesn't speak, who's essentially food, and he's gone and had sex with her and got her pregnant.
Joke, man.
Which is illegal. Anyway.
Thinking of you, Willie, all the time. I don't get it. Like I say,
he locked her up in glory. He never wanted her in the first place, and all of a sudden...
Oh, yeah, he did.
All of a sudden, she's pregnant.
Ridiculous.
So my question is, if you put 10 men in that situation, how many babies are there going to be? How many are going to end
How many times are they...
How many of them are going to end up in the same situation as him?
Bro, we're looking at 8 minimum.
I think every last one of them. Every last one of them.
Unless you get some... they're gay or whatever.
So
you're looking at 8 minimum.
Is that our nature?
Yeah. You talk about that's exactly what it is.
The woman can't talk. She can't say no. She can't consent. She can't really...
She's like a blow-up doll, essentially, but alive.
Yeah. So he done the right thing.
Right thing. Well, legally, no, clearly, because you get put to death for that. Second...
So that's what you would do.
Second, I'd like to plead the fifth. I'd like to take the fifth. And, my right against self-incrimination. I did not have to answer that this time. I don't recall. But yeah, no, in all seriousness though, it's genuinely... Well, look, it's a lot of people, it's sad to say, do what they can get away with, and only what they feel like they can get away with, So it's like, it's a case of, you don't really know what you would do until you're in that situation. You don't really know how you do. I'm not even talking about just this situation. I'm talking about any kind of situation where you might have like an advantage to do something that could be considered illegal.
Right. I'd call it an advantage.
Advantageous. You could do something that would like if you got a chance to do something unscrupulous, you really don't know what you're going to do until you're in that situation, until you're looking at the gold bar that someone left lying on that table, or until you're looking at that £50 that dropped out of someone's pocket. Until you're looking at it and you're in the moment, the value of choice, and you've got the red moment and the blue moment, until you've got that crossroads, you really can't say for sure what you would do. But it is sad to say, if you're in a barn and there's no one around for miles, it's just you and this female thing, and no one's going to know, it is unfortunately most men, if not all men, most, with me as the only exception.
And the back.
With me and the only exception. With me, all freak, mate. Yeah, but, in all seriousness though, it is like most men probably do it, let's be honest. Most men probably do it.
Yeah, so, wait, no, it's your turn.
Yeah, it's my turn.
I got 3 more.
So it seems that our protagonist and Spinell, the female butcher, have had some form of sexual relations in the past. Figures. There really is no such thing as a platonic friendship between men and women, even in an apocalypse. Definitely during the apocalypse,
This
actually.
man was clapping everything.
Oh, everything in sight.
He had a
literally.
wife as well.
Oh, did he?
Wow, he had a wife that we never really...
Yeah, we didn't really. But listen, I said definitely in an apocalypse, because remember when we read Tattoos of Auschwitz? And like, Lale, this guy was in a death camp, but he said, listen, we got food, we got water, we got shelter. Next thing on the list is gal, straight away. And he said, that's all, man. That's what we do. That's how we do. So he literally said, that's how we be. He was looking for gal to cuddle up with in Auschwitz, and this guy in the apocalypse, he's looking for gal to cuddle up with in his barn, even when he said he didn't want her or whatever. Anyway, Spinell says something quite profound, and it goes back to what we read last week about how emotions are made. She says, why do we find smiles attractive? When someone smiles, they're showing you their skeleton. I was blown away by that quote, because I was literally, made me immediately think of like the ancient Romans and the Greeks. Is that why they did smile so much? Because it was just weird. Like, it's hard for us to conceptualize smiling as weird, because it's such a normal thing to do. And like, some people tell me I smile too much, in fact. And other people tell me I have a complete screw face. So it's like,
can't win.
Yeah, you can't really win, but smiling is definitely seen as a totally normal thing, and the most you'll get is somebody ask you, oh, what's funny, or, why are you smiling, but they'll ask it in a good way. But, yeah, she's got to be a psychopath to say something like that. Come on, I definitely wouldn't. Don't stick your dick in crazy. Absolutely not. I've tried it. It didn't go well.
If we as a nation ate human meat, when you die, would you allow your body to be consumed for organ donation and eaten?
Yeah, that's a good question, and that's what I was thinking of as well, because like you kind of have to live by. Imagine if you're there eating all the food, and you're about to die. You're like, no, I don't want my body. Just bury me properly. People will be like, but at the same time, ugh. People, I'm not dead yet. Do you know what I mean?
But don't you think it's even funny that we would, we would look down upon that? So let's say there was some option to, when you die, feed your body to dogs. For example, you'd go, oh, no, I want to feed mine to maggots. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
But it's like, that would be disrespect.
You're not feeding them to the maggots. The maggots are taking advantage of...
Listen, we're putting them in the ground.
In full knowledge of what's going to happen to them.
In the bugs, in the ground, you're putting me there, purposefully.
Yeah, but...
So you can't say
I think the size has something to do with it. The size of dogs versus the size of maggots. And what I mean when I say this is, like, how small does something have to get before you don't care? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're being eaten by microorganisms, are you being fed to... do you see what I'm saying?
No,
you're going to be eaten by something.
So
how small can something get before you don't care?
So why is it you wouldn't let yourself be eaten?
Because it's bigger, and I can see it. And I'm like, ugh!
You can't see it, you'll be dead.
Obviously, you'll be dead, but I'm just saying, I can see you now, though, and I'm picturing it. And I can see dogs, and I can picture that. But it's like, things can get so small, you don't care anymore.
I don't think it's about the size. I just think it's because...
I think that definitely plays a psychological part.
I don't think it plays any part.
I think it plays a psychological part. I'm not saying it makes sense, but it definitely probably plays a psychological part.
I don't think it does. I think
people
people just think that, let's just say our mind's calibrated to know that when you die, we bury you or we cremate you. That's it. Anything else is abnormality.
Yeah, I mean, especially in this culture. I mean, like, what culture was it? Where they used to put them on a boat and push them off to sea? Was that real thing? Was that? No, because that was in Game of Thrones, but I know there was a culture that used to do it.
Yeah, burn them. That's Vikings.
Yeah, and then it was probably Vikings. Yeah, and then the arrow with the flame. You hit that one time, yeah.
Easy.
Oh yeah, didn't you win for archery?
Oh yeah, I did get that. Isn't it there? It was up there.
There's an archery trophy up there. I was so shit at archery. I couldn't hear anything. The scene where Marcos shows the new applicants how Sergio strikes the livestock is to render them unconscious for slaughter is exactly what I would want in a story about humans being bred as livestock.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
That was a very good scene because I was literally like, we're seeing... Remember what we said, not to bring back to the story again, remember we said the tattoos of Auschwitz, we was like, It really wasn't as bad, as horrifying, as macabre as we thought it could. They could possibly have gone, given the context of what we're writing about. Here, I feel like we got exposed to the full, especially in this scene, the full nitty gritty of like how they're doing things.
I wouldn't say the full, but
not the full, but we got exposed to something. It's not nothing. They send in shaven humans, and Sergio conks them on the head very, very precisely. If he is too gentle, and the human goes to the slaughter awake, the shock will ruin the meat. If he is too heavy-handed, and the human is killed prematurely, the meat will also be ruined. So, Elijah, could you do this job?
Yeah.
You could do it. I knew he was going to say that as well. I just want to ask you on camera.
Listen, what do they do? They, like, I don't know what they do. They deal with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could do. I would do that over.
What, like skinning them up?
Yeah, I'm not
like that. Yeah, that's long.
I'm not doing that.
I'd enjoy it. I've got 3 left.
I've got 2 left.
Let me go again then. Yeah. The sex scene with Spinell just seems so random and forced. It's like someone writing a uni dissertation had a specific word count to reach. So our protagonist Marcos, he has a weird dream where a wolf is eating the body of his dead child, and then after waking from his dream, he goes to Spinell's butcher shop and has sex with her on the butcher's table where the blood's dripping all over now. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the scene.
I don't know what those
like,
were.
And afterwards, Marcos just goes back to his life. That's it. Like, I really do think this story has a very compelling premise. The idea is good, but the execution seems all over the place. There was really no plot, and it's like the second book in as many weeks that we're saying had no plot. And it was really interesting premise. But
what was the first book?
Nero. I was why did he just have a weird dream and then go to someone's butcher? Like, this guy's G'd up. I wish I could do that. The hell? He just had a dream.
Yeah.
Went to a yard. He said, knickers off. Straight away. I was like, what was that scene in there for? I half expect it to be a dream.
There was no explanation for the scavengers. Why is there an electric fence between them? They are fellow humans, right? That was just never explained.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, actually. Yeah. Look, I'd already saw the plot, if you can call it that, going off the rails, where it's just like, be prepared for more random things to happen. After the sex in the butcher shop, I literally said, well, if I didn't see that coming, we're not at the end yet. We're like 60% through. So we've got 40% more random things to be coming. Sigh. I really did expect better. So Marcos has sex with his female animal slave / pet. Of course he did. The sad truth is that this is the first thing the average man would think of to do if he had a completely submissive female slave / pet. The problem is, when people see these sorts of things in movies / TV and in literature, it gives us unrealistic expectations. This is why women get so upset when they are sexually rejected, because TV told them men will fuck anything, including socks. So if a man won't fuck you, it must be personal. I don't know if you've ever turned down sex, Elijah. I have, and it didn't go down well. You would think the gender that invented no means no as a hashtag would be a little bit more, do you know what I mean? But apparently not. Yeah, it really didn't turn out well. They'd be a little bit more understanding of these things, but hey. I called this at the beginning of this review, and if it indeed turns out how I feared, I'll be giving this story a -1 out of 10 for wasting my valuable time.
Yeah, but as we said before, is that not true to life?
Look, I don't care at this point. I don't care. I'm just disappointed. I said, really? Because there's no plot as well. On top of that, you got this. On top of that, I just said, no, I'm not feeling
it. Gender stereotypes?
Gender stereotypes. It's not cool, man. It's 2024. Yeah, it's 2024, man.
I was on the edge of my seat when the inspector came to pull up on the main character, Marcus, to check off on Jasmine. So basically, he, as you know by now, he was given a head, so a woman. And
first generation pure.
And basically, the person, I think the plant that gave it to him, come round and check on. I think everyone gets checked up on.
Yeah, they have to, because they know
people are gonna fuck them.
Yeah, legit,
or enjoy them. That's what they call them. So they've got inspectors that come round, and he obviously. So Marcus works for the plant, so he was friendly with the inspector. So this other inspector would just come round, sign it. He wouldn't even check on Jasmine. Anyway, a new inspector pulls up. Someone who's just got the job and wants to do his job. So basically, he's like, where's the girl? Where's the head? Yeah. Anyway, the head's pregnant, you know.
Yeah,
if the head comes in pregnant, he's getting done
up.
Anyway, the man's like, well, I need to go, I need to see it. And Marcus is like, yeah. Anyway, he makes a call to the old inspector, the other inspector, patterns it for him. So,
bro,
but I was on the edge of my seat, though.
He would have been finished, That's a different level of finish. You're going straight to the slaughterhouse,
Yeah, no, you're done.
Straight to the slaughterhouse.
Let me ask you a question, Joseph. Did you have the feeling that you didn't want him to get found out?
Yeah, a little bit. I did a little bit.
Is that an indication that what he's doing isn't actually wrong, and that enjoying the heads shouldn't be illegal, punishable by death?
Well, it's very difficult to say what should or shouldn't be illegal in a dystopian world where they eat humans and cut humans up live.
No, but
it's very difficult. It gives you more leeway to say, I'm disobeying the law, but I could be right, because who knows what's right anymore. It gives you more leeway to kind of rationalise with yourself, if that makes sense.
Are you going to answer the question?
That is answering the question. So,
let me ask you again.
That's what I'm saying. Like
if you had the feeling that you didn't
know what the question is. I know what the question is.
Is that an indication of what he's doing isn't actually wrong?
No, it's not an indication of anything. It's not an indication of anything because, like I said, the lines, why is it not right and wrong? So it's been blurred and warped horribly.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So, but the reason why I believe it's an indication of being wrong is because you're a good person, aren't you?
Well,
you want bad people to get caught. You want good people to get away.
Sure.
Right. Sure. So for you to want him to get away with it, surely one could see that as an indication.
It's a very broad way of describing what a good person is. Very broad way. And the reason why I say that is because good and bad are such subjective words. They're more subjective than we even give them credit for. Okay. So you said you're a good person. You want good people to get away. You want bad people to get caught. What's a bad person? Do you know what I mean?
Someone who breaks the law.
But that's what I'm saying. Now, if that person's my best friend, do I still want him to get caught?
Well, he's breaking the law. You don't want him to get caught.
But do you see what I'm saying? Like, some laws should be broken. I don't know.
So he should have broken the law.
Let's let the comments decide. That's how YouTubers always get out of stuff. That's how YouTubers get out of stuff. No, in all seriousness, though, because I will answer the question. I think like some laws should be broken, and I also think this is what I personally think. When it gets down to the level that these lot have the laws at, it doesn't really matter what laws you break or don't break. Not really. Humans are being killed every day. People are being sent to slaughterhouse for like whatever, you know. So it really doesn't matter. I think it is an indication that you relate with how he could possibly feel. I think that's a much better way of saying it. You relate to his situation. You think, I could totally understand. Like, you had this is whatever in your bar and fucked her, got her pregnant. Yeah, listen, you fucked up, but I get it.
You can understand.
I think it's an indication that you're like, you fucked up, but I get it. And like, now you're in shit. Because can't wheel her out now, you know? 8 months already.
So what's the appropriate punishment in your opinion?
Appropriate punishment? Appropriate punishment? I mean, prison, I guess. I don't know. If I'd give him a punishment at all, it'd probably be prison. Yeah. Probably. But, no, I'm not Rishi. I don't know about these things. So,
fair enough. Well, that's me done anyway.
Alright, I think I've got one left. I've changed my mind. This story gets a -1 million. -1 million. So in the second part of the story, this book is arranged into 2 parts of 19 chapters each. We found that over time, Marcus trains his female slave, he named her Jasmine, to wear clothes, to stop shitting in his house, and to watch TV. She's also 8 months pregnant. At this part, I'm not even mad at his lack of standards anymore. I'm just annoyed at the ham-fisted attempt to shoehorn romance into the story when the foundations were not set up for this. On the one hand, it's laughing at men saying you'll have anything in a dress. On the other hand, it's laughing at women saying you'll happily choose an animal that can't even speak and has no vocal cords over you. On second thought, maybe that's why Marcus is so in love with her. No vocal cords. She's quiet. And she's 8 months pregnant. That really, I was just like...
Alright, okay. Cool. What about the ending? Did that resuscitate the story?
Nah, it wasn't enough.
Really?
It wasn't enough.
So basically...
Look, I get it.
So basically, what happens is Jasmine has the baby and he immediately kills Jasmine.
Yeah,
immediately.
Like literally just
he wanted her for the baby.
Because he lost his son.
He wanted her for the baby so that he can have a baby with his wife. He can have the baby with his wife.
Yeah.
I think the woman couldn't have a child again or something. I don't know.
Something like that. Or maybe she didn't want to because she was traumatized.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
But, and he immediately kills her, which, was a shock factor.
It was a bit of a shock factor, but I was like, that's not enough to rescue this whole story. Because, again, nothing happened in the story.
Yeah, nothing.
If there was some form of thing that happened in the story where there was some form of plot, I think the best kind of thing that happened in the story was obviously the Inspector Conrad. That was usually the best thing that actually happened in the story. It was the only thing that felt like a story was taking place. If there was more of that and like more twists, more turns, more actual things that they were trying to accomplish in the story, as opposed to just walking around shagging butchers, whatever this guy was up to, like taking employees around the slaughterhouse and things like that. It just seemed like he was just a regular guy, just kind of by his life. Just seemed like a regular guy going about his life.
So you think the book was a waste of time?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So what did you rate it out of 10?
I told you -1 million. Like, okay, not -1 million. I'll give it a fair score. I'll give it a 4. I'll give it a 4. I really, it's just I'm struggling to find positives. It
wasn't even gory. The whole point was for it to be
horror.
It was
a little bit gory.
Sorry, it was supposed to be horror.
Yeah, it was a little bit gory. It wasn't scary. It wasn't really anything. I didn't throw up. I didn't wet my pants. Not even a little bit. No poo came out. None.
You didn't wet your knickers.
It's legit. They're dry. Huggies.
So dry through the night. Well, now you guys don't have to read the book.
Yeah.
So
you're welcome.
We should have a quote, but we don't.
So how did we forget?
But in other news, next week we're reading a book about what's so great about Christianity is how Christianity influenced the world, and then we've got some romance novel coming. So two guys get into a romance novel. That's gonna be good. Some hate reading, as you said.
A lot of hate reading.
So till next time.
Till next time.